Hello friends, in this video I will be reading article from the Indian Express newspaper editorial page date 28th of June 2021. If you want to listen to video, this will help you improve and form your own opinion about the article. So let's start. Why did the government really initiate Jammu and Kashmir talks? They could have more to do with BJP's electoral calculations than giving signals of assurance. By now, it seems that the steering of a political process in Jammu and Kashmir may have less to do with the latest version of the great game that is drawing to a chaotic climax in the region, or with the Biden administration's gentle reminder about the need to restore normalcy in the truncated and downgraded state, and more to do with the BJP's push to further its ideological and electoral projects in Kashmir and elsewhere in the country. In June 24 meeting, by all accounts, was about getting the regional parties of Jammu and Kashmir to endorse and participate in the delimitation exercise. The task of redrawing electoral boundaries is a fraught exercise anywhere in the democratic world. In Jammu and Kashmir, it carries the additional burden of a communal divide between the two regions and a powerful national party that belongs to an ideological stream that wants to see a Hindu chief minister in the Muslim majority former state. In Jammu and Kashmir, the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019 provides for an increase in the number of assembly seats in the Union Territory from 107 to 114. Jammu, which counted for 37 seats before the 2019 changes, 46 were in Kashmir, 4 in Ladakh, plus 20 symbolically reserved for POK, may gain more constituencies through delimitation. There has been no delimitation in Jammu and Kashmir since 1995. In the intervening years, as election after election has shown, including the District Development Council election in 2020, Jammu and Kashmir have become increasingly polarized into religiously identified regions. When the Prime Minister invited the mainstream regional parties for talks, what stood out was the walk back from his earlier stand that the parties were irrelevant to the Naya Kashmir that had been inaugurated in August 2019. It was an out of character move. Most observers of the Modi Shah BJP agree that the party does not do U turns. These tend to be perceived by both supporters and detractors as admissions of failure. From demonetization in 2016 to the farm laws that triggered and still ongoing farmer agitations, there have been no U turn by this government. This is why BJP camp followers who had bought into the vitriolic rhetoric against the Gupkar gang are aghast that the party is doing business with the same politicians they thought had been cast into the dustbin of history. Those outside the circle of believers believe the walk back signals the BJP's Kashmir policy has hit a wall and the government is looking for a way out against the larger backdrop of the turmoil in Afghanistan and hostile neighborhood. But there had to be a compelling reason for the government to have made this U turn. On the face of it, the external environment in which Pakistan might be in the driving seat in Kabul through the proxy of Taliban before the end of this year. The situation on the line of actual control, where Chinese have adamantly stayed put, the specter of a two-front war. Therefore, the need to strengthen the ceasefire on the line of control and begin a dialogue with Pakistan, as well as remove Kashmir from the agenda of US congressional hearings, does present a compelling package of national security reasons for the sudden decision to engage these political parties after 2 years of saying they don't matter. However, this government has hardly tailored its ideological projects to the demands of diplomacy or global geopolitics. After all, it is the same government that walked out of a regional comprehensive economic partnership and was ready to throw away a carefully built relationship with Bangladesh for the communally polarized Citizenship Amendment Act. Plus, it seems to carry the burden of demonstrating that it can take on international pressure better than its predecessors. In the 1990, the Narasimha Rao government withstood much stronger international pressure on Kashmir than the gentle rap on the knuckles that the US delivers now. And then to the Modi government. Can Modi be seen to be doing deals with the Taliban or even Pakistan that would dilute the Sangh Parivar's Mission Kashmir? That 2 months ahead of an important round of assembly elections? In any case, this government's first ever all party meeting lacked both the substance and optics that would bring the reassurance of a return to normalcy that both Kashmiris and international interlocutors are looking for. Home Minister Amit Shah's tweet after the meeting about strengthening the democratic process might have carried more conviction had it not been under his watch that the world's biggest democracy imposed the longest internet ban on the sections of its citizens, preventing both access to the dissemination of information, jailed thousands of Kashmiri politicians, and pre-empted all protest via blanket restrictions. Rather, it was the emphasis on delimitation in Jammu and Kashmir by Prime Minister and Home Minister at the meeting with Jammu and Kashmir political leaders that certainly suggested a focus narrower than the shifting stance of regional geopolitics, which demand grand gestures of reconciliation, people friendly confidence building measures, and big promises. There were none of those in the meeting, and there is no indication that such gestures are in the pipeline. There was no timeline to the assurance on the restoration of statehood, a reiteration of a commitment made by the Home Minister in Parliament. With the, what the government made clear was the chronology. Elections and statehood may follow delimitation. The Jammu and Kashmir leaders who wanted statehood restored first did not agree with this sequencing, but Prime Minister Modi tweeted that delimitation has to happen at a quick pace so that polls can happen in Jammu and Kashmir, gets an elected government that gives strength to Jammu and Kashmir's development trajectory. Shah tweeted that the delimitation exercise and the peaceful elections are important milestones in restoring statehood as promised in parliament. The renewed attention to Jammu and Kashmir and the emphasis on a process that is likely to create more bad blood, more polarization among Hindu Muslim lines, more suspicion in the valley, could carry a wider response in the run up to a string of assembly elections. Instead, the compelling reason for a big move by the government could be a result of its single minded focus at this point: how to ensure a BJP victory in the upcoming elections in crucial states, vital to its prospects for a third term in 2024. If at all there is a message to Pakistan or the international community in this new phase of engagement with Jammu and Kashmir's political leadership, it is the limits of what can be reversed to the pre August 5, 2019 position. This is the government's roadmap towards normalization. It is for the hybrid military civilian regime now to decide how to re engage with India within this framework.